Fans of Kurt Frost and Yandy Harris have seen their ongoing drama unfold on Love and Hip Hop, but you won't believe the real story behind it. These two had been at one another's throats for years, seemingly unable to come to an agreement. Has Yandy Smith and his wife finally had open and honest conversation about their feud? This conflict goes well beyond the minor arguments and the times that Mendeecees and Kirk have appeared on reality TV. So trust me when I say that this is not what you may anticipate. For a long time, they were in the same circle, and at one point, they even had some respect for each other. However, as time passed and their notoriety grew, things started to go south. It's been a never-ending war, with neither side willing to own their efforts or failings over their issues. But here's the shocking part. Yandy, who has always tried to remain impartial and act as her family's pillar of support, has finally lost it and spoken out about the reasons why they can't resolve their issues. It's about deep-rooted hostility, egos, and perhaps misguided commitment. Not just the emotional drama we've seen on TV. The most ridiculous part of all of this is that Kirk's issues are caused by something far more serious than straightforward misunderstandings or jealousy. Yandy's disclosures highlight the complexity of their connection and the depth of their tense relationship. For both of them, destiny appears to have taken an unexpected turn, and they are stuck in a cycled struggle. But what? This story is different from all the other celebrity feuds you've heard about because it involves family. It's not just two men fighting for publicity. It's about their families, businesses, and sense of self-respect, as well as their inability to accept. Their personal and professional relationships have been affected by their terms with one another. We'll have to wait and see how far this argument goes now that Yandy has come forth and disclosed the real reasons behind their problems. The real reason behind Mendeecees and Kirk's feud extends beyond minor disagreements or competition for the job, despite the fact that we have all seen them make fun of love and hip-hop. The conclusion of this story may not be what you anticipated, yet the reality is far more nuanced and encompasses their individual anxieties, unsolved issues, and betrayals. Their complicated past together lies at the core of their disagreement. Early in our professions, Kirk and I first met, and initially it looked. They were both putting in a lot of effort to launch their careers and make a name for themselves in the music industry, so everything was fine. But as time went on, events took a turn that nobody could have foreseen. Mendeecees, who has long been renowned for his bold nature and drive. Yang says Mendeecees has always been irritated by Andy Kirk's approach to business and family, despite the fact that he has always been vocal about wanting more for himself and his family. Kirk, an experienced professional in the industry, tried to advise Mendeecees, but Mendeecees believed Kirk was undermining his vision and trying to limit him instead of assisting him. But the shocking fact is that Kirk was seen as a competition as well as a mentor. Mendeecees thought Kirk was trying to conceal his genius as they drew nearer, but Mendeecees was all. Since Kirk was still involved in his own family conflict, the story is different from most celebrity feuds in that it lacks a clear enemy. Their relationship quickly degenerated as a result of their power struggle, which set them on a collision course. Kirk and Mendeecees both have valid causes for their emotions. Having overcome his own obstacles, Kirk desired to put his past behind him and ensure his future and establish himself, not only to his family, but also to demonstrate that he was independent of Kirk's approval. Mendeecees saw it as a form of control, but he thought he was offering counsel. The most ridiculous aspect of the never-ending ego fight between them was that it went beyond rivalry in business and into their personal life, demonstrating that some of their conflicts arose from matters that extended beyond their professional objectives. It was almost impossible for them to reconcile because of long-standing hostilities and unstated realities. Destiny made an unexpected turn when Yandy, who had long tried to act as a peacekeeper, decided to come forward and reveal what had been seething underneath. Her insight into their tense relationship gives us a new perspective on why these two men simply don't. Despite their differences, this is not your average celebrity quarrel. Rather, it is the narrative of two people who have a past filled with miscommunications, conceit, and unhealed wounds. What does all of this mean for them going forward? Is their feud coming to an end, or will they ever be able to work things out? Let me clarify that the conflict between Kirk and Mendeecees is personal in nature, rather than only being about rivalry or corporate success. The more you discover about their past, the more you realize that the betrayals they have experienced are what truly motivated them. You won't believe how far these two guys have come in their relationship. Although their relationship has always been complicated, their personal lives became a battleground when Kirk's personal problems started to interfere with their business dealings. The strangest part is that trust is at stake here, not simply words or deeds. Betrayal meant more than just conflicts or commercial mistakes. It meant being humiliated and losing the support of someone he had once regarded as a mentor. In their separate ways, Kirk and Mendeecees believed that the other had deserted them when they were at their lowest. Kirk was supposed to be a friend who would help Mendeecees, who has had his share of legal troubles and a past he has been trying to avoid. But when things didn't work out, since he couldn't shake the feeling that Kirk wasn't supporting him when it counted most, and felt isolated. Kirk appeared to be using his personal issues as a pretext to separate himself rather than provide support. But what makes the narrative special isn't not just about the betrayal of one person, but also about how they both projected their own anxieties onto each other. Kirk's continued participation in family issues made Mendeecees, who always felt the need to prove himself, feel as though his profession and goals weren't being prioritized, and Kirk perceived N's rise as a reminder of his own purported failings as he struggled with his own issues. These were long-standing struggles for respect and acceptance, not just trivial complaints. What's more, their betrayals went beyond professional choices, which is shocking. Along with his failed attempts to patch up his personal relationship, Kirk's ongoing issues with his wife Rashida, and the rumors that were going around about their marriage also played a big role in the separation. He started to question Kirk's moral character and whether he could actually offer him wise guidance after failing to even fix his own wife's issues. He thought he was speaking with a man who was too focused on his personal issues to offer the kind of advice he needed. Yet here's even stranger is the fact that Mice always looked up to Kirk despite all of his grievances, which is why the betrayal was so painful for him. He thought Kirk would be the most able to relate to his wish to rise above his background and become great, but instead, the more they quarreled, the worse their relationship got. Finally, Yandy came out to reveal how their constant disputes had affected her relationship with Least, his wife, whom she had to deal with. Even if it is clear that the circumstance has strained their union in ways that fans were not fully aware of, Yandy disclosed the emotional effort she has done to attempt to maintain peace not only between Mendeecees and Kirk, but also in their marriage. You won't believe the extent to which this drama has intensified among the fans as well as between Means and Kirk. Fans are incensed that their rivalry has extended beyond their personal lives and into public appearances on social media. Because things have gotten so out of hand, people have started to pick sides. One side is represented by Mendeecees' loyal fans, and each post, discussion, and interview seems like an opportunity for these two to criticize one another. Assume that Mendeecees has always been misinterpreted and that his rightful place in the industry will soon be restored. Additionally, Kirk's supporters argue that Kirk is just a messed up person who got caught up in his own marital mess. These fans don't hold back, they're vocal on social media, offering commentary on everything from Men's legal troubles to Kirk's marital troubles. The shocking issue, though, is that the fans think Lee should have never crossed Kirk in the first place and should have stayed in his lane. Supporters are constantly drawing parallels between the words and actions of these two individuals, compiling old interview transcripts, behind-the-scenes videos, and even social media posts that offer more details about the conflict than what has been seen on television. The internet chatter has just stoked the flames, ranging from direct taunts to more subtle jabs, and it now seems impossible to escape the public pressure. However, this is where things become interesting since the media plays a vital role in preserving. The public wants answers every time a new episode airs and every time Kirk and other male DCs appear in public, and the more tabloids, blogs, and gossip sources focus on every new detail, the more males DCs and Kirk try to hide their personal turmoil. Squirrel, and the inquiries never cease, it's as like the fans have entered the narrative, and none of them is able to escape the opinions and criticism of others. This tale is different from other celebrity feuds because it's not just, as far as Kirk and I are concerned, it's about how their fans have intensified the drama and started looking into the argument on their own, sharing ideas and speculating about the real reasons behind the conflict. The idea that this rivalry may no longer be about their personal lives, but rather is now linked to their public personas. Whenever one of them is criticized is the most ridiculous part of it. I question whether this conflict is real or just the product of the chaos the fans and media have created. When Mendeecees and Kirk are involved in a scandal or a difficult interview, they unintentionally become the emotional representations of their supporters. Because of how loud and explosive the public drama is, it seems that every action they take is being scrutinized and neither is willing to back down. But here's the truth. Mendeecees and Kirk have not fully revealed the reasons for their fight and have remained silent about some areas of their personal issues despite their regular back and forth. We are left wondering how much longer this can go on, whether Kirk and Dees can allow the fans control the narrative, or if one of them will eventually come clean and tell the truth. The fans are more eager than ever for the whole truth to be revealed. Let's face it, despite all the hype, The stakes are high now that Yandy Smith has finally exposed the underlying conflict between Mendes and Kirk Frost, and the public's involvement only serves to increase the drama and unpredictability of this feud. The awful realities that are coming to light will astound you. Highlighting the extent of their issues is no longer only about what has been seen on TV. It's also about what they've been hiding and what really happened behind closed doors. The drama between these two, I must say, isn't just some small arguments, are much more complicated and are the result of years of resentment, jealousy, and unresolved disputes. Although they both portray themselves as mature men trying to handle their affairs, there is a very other story unfolding behind the scenes. In actuality, Kirk and Lise have been fighting for dominance for a long time. Both of them are proud men trying to gain respect in a society where it's hard to get. They have been fighting for the same recognition and the same place in the industry. Believes that Mendes' potential is surpassing his veteran status, and he is terrified by Mendes' success and the way he has gained notoriety. However, he believes that Kirk is always trying to hold him back or steal his show, which has only fed his anger and frustration, but he has been hiding some deep-seated concerns of his own, which is odd. As Kirk displays his family, Yandy expressed his fear of being compared to Kirk, especially in regards to fatherhood. For everyone to see, and Meese couldn't get rid of the feeling that his own family situation was being closely examined. Yandy, his best buddy, revealed that this constant comparison leads to some of their most heated confrontations, especially when it comes to their roles as fathers and partners, but this is where things start to become complicated. Kirk wasn't exactly telling the truth when Meese was busy with his job and fatherhood. He was supposedly mocking Meese's achievements in secret. Let's not talk about what makes this story special. In the majority of feuds, the lines separating right and wrong are quite distinct. Even questioning his capacity to be a father has exacerbated their relationship, causing a domino effect that neither of them seems to be able to stop. And who is incorrect? The lines between Meese and Kirk, however, are blurred. Their issues are much more than a simple disagreement. They encompass ingrained rivalries, anxieties, and feelings of betrayal. It's more than just a conflict. It's an ego fight that no one can really figure out how to resolve. The most ridiculous part of this is that topics that they have both been too afraid to talk about have now been made public by the Yandy revelations. They have been holding grudges for years, and the strain of suppressing them is starting to get to them. Though neither of them is ready to start the process of reconciliation, they both need the other to move on. The issue is that neither Kirk nor Mendeecees seem prepared to compromise, even in the face of the public drama. They're so mired in their own ego and issues that it won't be easy to fix this. In fact, things might grow worse before they get better. As they continue to stir things up, Mendeecees and Kirk will have to make a choice since the fans are invested. You won't believe what has surfaced about Kirk and my ongoing drama. It's years of unresolved rivalry, envy, and pride that extend beyond a few heated on-camera altercations. That's Yandy Smith. What has been going on behind closed doors between Kirk and Mendeecees has finally been made public by someone who has seen it all. And I can promise you that this is not the drama we first thought it was. Kirk and Mendeecees' relationship has been difficult for a while, and it's not just because they appear to disagree, because they both have ingrained anxieties that no one has fully understood up to this point. But Yandy dropped some shocking revelations that help viewers understand why they can't seem to find peace and why their disagreements never seem to end. And let me tell you why it keeps getting messier. It all started when the two men began to perceive one other's success as a threat. Kirk's involvement in reality TV, his hustle, and his family dynamics have made him well known, but Mendeecees has been. The two had been fighting for respect and approval from the outside world, as well as from each other for a long time before Meese showed up. This competition is entangled in pride and power struggles and goes beyond TV drama, but this is where it gets. In actuality, Kirk has been envious for years. He has always thought that Mendeecees is attempting to surpass him and that he isn't getting the recognition he merits. Yandy made it clear that both males have been playing games in the background, which is fascinating. The strangest thing is that people didn't see that Kirk's struggles to establish himself were caused by more than just his veteran status, which was the subject of our disputes. Self-doubt has been a problem for Mendeecees. It's about ego, and that's an issue, not who is right or wrong. They were about who would be the alpha man in their group, whether it was for work or family. They have been in continual disagreements since they are both so keen on winning the esteem of their peers. Yandy has always been the mediator between these two, attempting to convince them to put their pride aside for the benefit of their family and business, which makes the story special. When it comes to persistent guys, this is a dangerous move. After years of attempting, she finally admitted that she doesn't think they'll ever get along since the roots in their relationship are too deep for her to heal. However, destiny took an unexpected turn when Yandy disclosed the shocking reality that Mies was the. Although Kirk had always been a mentor and someone he could trust, Mendeecees began to question his dedication due to Kirk's constant criticism and demeaning actions. As it happens, Kirk's behind-the-scenes behavior made Mendeecees feel duped. Of males was personal as well as on television. He chose to knock him down instead of supporting him because he felt scared by his rise in the reality TV industry. Even more startling is Mendeecees' irritation with. He had trusted Kirk as someone who should have been on his side, so Kirk's refusal to recognize his achievements and reject them as a reality TV gimmick was a slap in the face. Their conflict is made more complicated by their power dynamics. Kirk has always been the older, more experienced character, while Mace has always been the younger one, trying to make a name for himself. They both have weaknesses, but they decide not to face them. The outcome has been this toxic back and forth that seems to never end. What is the primary takeaway from this? Kirk and Mies are at odds over more than just little issues. They are fighting for approval, respect, and acceptance, which they are both unwilling to supply. They are both enmeshed in this cycle of ego-related disputes, and unless one of them is, in light of the drama, they are prepared to humble themselves, will proceed to develop at the end of the Yandy's disclosure of their secret. Perspective is aided by truths. These two men have more things in common than prepared to admit that they are fighting for the same objective, yet their methods cannot differ more, and until they decide to deal with their internal disagreements, this drama is still ongoing.